I would say the number of times we're going to buy into a company, whether it's through stocks or through the entire company, where people are talking about EBITDA is going to be about zero. I mean, we start out with, if somebody's talking about EBITDA, you know, if we take all the people in the world who have talked about EBITDA and all the people in the world who haven't talked about EBITDA, there are more frauds in the first group, percentage-wise, by a substantial margin, very substantial. I mean, it is a, you know, it's just a start. Now, that isn't, you know, that it's very interesting to me. If you look at some enormously successful companies, Walmart, General Electric, Microsoft, you know, I don't think that term has ever appeared in their annual reports. I mean, they just, so when people are talking about that sort of thing, either they're trying to con you in some way or they con themselves to a great degree. I mean,
or both.
Yeah. Well, that often happens. I mean, if you set out to con somebody, after a while you con yourself, which is why some of the people in the internet stocks, you know, stayed with them. It's, if somebody is, if they think you're focusing on EBITDA, they may arrange things so that that number looks bigger than it really is. It's bigger than it really is anyway. I mean, the implication of that number is that it has great meaning. You take telecoms, they're spending every dime that comes in. I mean, in many cases, and it isn't cash flow. I mean, the cash is flowing out, but it, you know, you can look at the statement and there's billions of dollars supposedly in depreciation and so on, but they're, you know, interest is an expense. Actually, taxes are going to be expense. Anybody that tells you that making a lot of money before taxes, that in terms of EBITDA, is meaningful, you know, you get depreciation by laying out money ahead of time. It's the worst kind of expense. We look for float, where we get the money and then pay out later on. But depreciation occurs because you buy an asset first and then you get the deduction later on. It's the worst kind of expense there is. And you start paying taxes when you actually make money and when the depreciation runs out at some point. So it just amazes me how widespread the usage of EBITDA has become, and I would say there have been people who have tried to dress up financial statements in a way to appeal to people who were impressed by such a number. Charlie and I have found actually that, at least to us, many of the crooks look like crooks. I mean, we have spotted, we haven't shorted them, but we have spotted a lot of frauds over the years in public companies, and years before, you know, that the roof fell in. And they usually are people that tell you things that are too good to be true, for one thing. I mean, they tell you very mediocre businesses are wonderful businesses for one reason or another, or they just have a smell about them.